So I played the Evolve Alpha last weekend, and I just want to talk about it really quick with you guys, and talk about some of the things that happen in the game, or you do in the game, or everything like that. Evolve is created by Turtle Rock Studios, which is the creators of Left 4 Dead, and I've been a huge Left 4 Dead fan for years, so I was pretty excited when this game was announced. And when I played it this weekend, I had a lot of fun with it. First off, let's go straight into what the game is about. It's a 4v1 scenario. It's 5 players. Kind of get your role randomly, but you can choose which role you like the most and which role you rather play, and then it kind of randomizes which one you get. You're on a planet called Planet Shear, and on this planet there's a lot of things that can hurt you or interact with you besides just hunting the monster or being hunted by the hunters. And that is, there's Venus fly traps that can catch you, and there's non-aggressive animals that you can kill or spook or whatever you want to do with them, and there's also aggressive monsters and very dangerous creatures that are really big, and they actually drop power-ups for you or the monster. Whichever one kills it, they can get power-ups and make themselves stronger. And as you level up, you get new things like perks, advanced weapons, or you can unlock new characters and stuff like that to play. So let's talk about the monster first. The monster you start out with is the Goliath. The Goliath is a brute type monster. It has fire breath, leap, smash, rock throw, and charge. When you start as a monster, you're given 3 points to put in these abilities, so you can only either choose 3 abilities out of the 4, or you can choose to put all of your points into, like, say 2 into 1 and then 1 into another, or all 3 into 1. But then you'd only have 1 ability. What I chose to do when I played was put 1 point into fire breath, 1 point into leap smash, and 1 point into rock throw. And then each phase you get 3 more points, and I just kind of leveled up each one of those both times, and then each move can max of 3. So you can technically get all 4 moves, but then they won't be max level. So I leveled up those 3 moves, and I didn't get charge, and I actually did really well with that combination. So if you play enough, you can unlock another monster called the Kraken. And the Kraken is a whole different move set, but I didn't actually get a chance to play that because I only got to around level 8, so I don't know what exactly or how the Kraken plays. The monster is, you're pretty much running and hiding the entire game. All you do is you kind of look for the hunters and you run away from them, because you can do like a sensibility and you can see other creatures around that you can eat, or you can see the outlines of the humans and you want to run away from them, because if they catch you when you're in the first phase, there's a chance they're probably going to kill you, and you don't want that to happen. So you're pretty much running the whole time and trying to eat and run, eat and run, eat and run, and just hide. You have the sneak ability and you run faster and you can leap really far. It's almost like the Incredible Hulk jumping. You like jump super far. You climb up walls really fast. I don't know, it's kind of interesting to play the monster. I kind of liked it and didn't like it because, like I said, you're running away the whole time, and what's really fun about running away? I just want to beat them. I want to destroy those hunters, but you get through that in other phases, or if they catch you. Let's talk about the hunters now. The hunters, there's 4 different classes. The first class I'm going to talk about is the trappers. The trappers are probably the most important of the 4, and they have the most responsibilities, and that's because they put down a dome that kind of locks in the monster, so that if you're trying to hunt him and fight him, he can't run away. It's actually pretty annoying if you don't get a trapper that knows what they're doing, because if they don't put that arena down, the monster can pretty much just run the whole game. I actually played as a monster a few times against a really good trapper, and I was running away, and right as I was about to jump away from them, a wall landed right in front of me, so he got me right on the edge. Like, if he didn't put that dome down right when he did, I would have gotten away. So a good trapper is probably key to your team. They also have harpoon traps, which you put on the ground, and if you put a harpoon trap on both sides of the monster, it can kind of lock them in place where they can't really move very easily, but they can like ground pound it and kill it, but it kind of slows them down a little bit. Then they have a machine pistol, and Maggie, the hunter Maggie, you unlock another hunter later called Griffin, but Maggie has a pet, and I think because of this pet, she is the superior trapper of the 2, because Griffin has a tracking ability also, but it's not a pet, it's just ability he uses. He puts down sound spikes and he gets the tracks from that. But the pet Lockjaw actually acts as a 5th team member. If a person dies, the first person on your team to die, the dropship timer will go down. You have 2 minutes, and then your team will come back down and come back to life. So say one person is alive and all 3 of the other people are dead, then those 3 people can come back, and it'll start the timer from the time the first person died. So say the first person died at like 2 minutes ago, and then a minute later another person died, and then when 30 seconds was left on timer, another person died. All three of those people come to life at the same time. When you have the trapper Maggie, her pet Trapjaw actually acts as a fifth party member, so the monster has to kill them. So say all four of you die and you have like a few seconds left and your pet's running around. If the monster doesn't kill the pet in time, all four of you can come back to life. It's pretty cool, and I think that alone makes her the superior trapper, because the other guy's pretty much exactly the same except for that ability. Now let's talk about the Assault class. The Assault class has 4 abilities, and they're pretty much all attack abilities because he's the damage. And he's got a lightning gun, an assault rifle, arc mines, and then a personal shield. Now both of the assaults have this shield, and the other 3 moves are different. The lightning gun Markov has, and then Hyde has the flamethrower. Markov has an assault rifle, and then Hyde has a minigun. Now those are pretty much kind of the same abilities, so they just work a tiny bit differently. The biggest difference between these two are the arc mines and then a toxic grenade. Now I didn't have too much luck with the arc mines. They kind of don't work very well. I mean, they do a lot of damage, but when you throw them down, they have a small radius and they don't last forever. They kind of just blow up on themselves if they don't get walked over or anything. And they don't arm immediately, so they're kind of, if you're running from a monster and you set it down, he can just kind of walk right over it and attack you before you even do it. So I didn't really have much luck with the arc mines, and I didn't get to play Hyde. So I think the toxic grenades, which Hyde has instead of the arc mines, which kind of puts a dot on them and explodes, it does more damage as it goes on. So I think those would be more useful because it's a grenade, but I didn't get a chance to test that out. So I think Hyde is actually probably superior to Markov in this instance. When I first started playing, I thought the Trapper was my favorite because I liked the responsibilities and stuff, but I actually started playing the Medic and the Support, which are the next 2 classes I'm going to talk about, and those 2 are my favorite. And it's because they have a lot of utility and they have a lot of fun moves. I didn't like the Assault because he felt boring to me. All you do is attack, and in this game, you don't really want to just straight up attack. You want to be strategic and kind of move around and stuff. And the Medic is probably the most fun class in my opinion, and here's why. They have a sniper rifle, which both versions of the Medic have, and when you shoot them with the sniper rifle, there's little points that show up on the monster, and those are weak points, so if the other teammates shoot those weak points, it does more damage. Val has a med gun, a tranquilizer gun, which slows down and kind of lights up the monster, so that if it goes behind a wall, you can still see it for a few seconds or whatever when you're using that ability. And then they also have a ability called Healing Burst, which you use and heals you and people around you. Now both versions of the Medic have that ability as well. Now the biggest difference between the 2 medics is Lazarus has an ability called the Lazarus device, and the Lazarus device basically brings people back to life, almost like the defib unit in Left 4 Dead. So if a guy gets killed and you couldn't get to him in time to bring him back up when he was dying, then you can just bring him back to life. And I think that is really useful because the monster pretty much destroys people, and even though the med gun is useful and you can heal people to stop them from dying, I think bringing dead people back is actually more of a benefit when you're fighting the monster. Another really fun class, my second favorite, is the Support. Now I played Hank. I didn't get a chance to play Bucket because you gotta play a lot to unlock these other characters that I've been talking about. And the 4 you start out with are Maggie, Markov, Val, and Hank. The other ones you have to unlock just like you have to unlock the Kraken monster. Hank the Support starts with a laser cutter, a shield protector, an orbital barrage, and a cloaking field. Now both of the supports have a cloaking field, but the 2 biggest differences are Hank has a shield protector, which is a lot like the med gun but for shields. Like if you target somebody, it'll give them a shield, so if the monster's attacking them, they're pretty much immune, which is a really useful ability. But the orbital barrage, which he has, I think is pretty useless. It does a lot of damage, but it kind of rains down rockets in a little area, and if you don't time it correctly, the monster will just walk right out of that, and it's really hard to hit. So I kind of think if that can be useful, but I think that Bucket is probably the better support of the 2 because he has an ability called UAV, which his head attaches, and you can fly around, kind of spot the monster, and you can light up the monster almost like the tranquilizer gun and just show people where the monster is, and you can just fly around. It's pretty cool because the biggest thing in this game is finding the monster. Once you find the monster, it's a lot easier to hunt and kill him. But then again, it doesn't have the shield protector, which is probably the best thing about Hank. Bucket also has sentry guns where you can set up guns almost like an engineer and just kind of has turrets that go off, and I think that's probably pretty cool. So I think Bucket is more of a offensive support, and tank is more of a defensive support. Like I said, they both have the cloaking field, which you can turn invisible and kind of revive your teammates when the monster's not looking. So I thought those two were the most fun for me, the support and the medic. Those are the two I had the most fun playing. Having different classes like that where you unlock different characters that are in the same class but have different abilities, that kind of gives me hope for future releases where you can get more, or they can release more characters and more monsters and kind of keep the game interesting and ongoing so that way it doesn't get stale and boring. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now let's talk about balance in this game. Monsters, I would say, are the biggest unbalanced thing in the game. It's probably really hard to balance the monsters, and I can understand that because you want to make the monsters feel powerful, and you want to give the hunters an ability to kill the monster. But in phase 1, I've noticed that if you're a monster, you really don't want to get caught in phase 1. So if you're a phase 1 monster, you're pretty much running the entire time. You do not want to get caught. If you get caught as a phase 1 monster, you're probably going to die because you're not very strong yet. Phase 2, I noticed it's a lot more even, and it kind of gives a slight edge to the monster, but I think it's a pretty fair fight. But I wouldn't chance it as a monster because they could probably still kill you. But I've noticed when you get to phase 3, I never killed a monster that was in phase 3. I always lost to phase 3 monsters. I don't know if they meant to make the monsters OP, like if you got to phase 3, then you deserve to win, but I literally never killed a phase 3 monsters. Now, I didn't play the game a ton, and I didn't unlock a ton of stuff. Like, I only got to level 8, but I did play quite a bit of matches, and I can just say that phase 3 monsters are insanely hard to kill. But my advice would to be, in order to try to kill one, or a monster in general, any phase, is to don't fight them in small spaces. Try to fight them out in the open with some things to hide behind, because if you clump up, the monster can just attack you all at once, and you don't want to get all hit at once, because then you're kind of just defeating the purpose of being a team. Now, it's very tactical to take these guys down. Remember, it's 4v1, and all of you are players, so the monster's not an AI. It's a player just like you, and you gotta outsmart them. That's pretty much the only way you're gonna kill a phase 3 monster, if you outsmart them, play differently. And I think having a team, like playing with friends, where you can communicate and kind of do things together, it will make it a lot easier. I didn't play with any friends. I was playing solo, so it's a lot harder to kind of work as a team to take down the monster. So maybe that's why I didn't kill a phase 3 monster. I think maybe if I had 3 friends and then just some random guy, or if we were playing 5 friends where 4 of us could communicate and like kind of mute ourselves for the 5th guy or something, then maybe it would be a lot easier to work as a team and kill the monster. Or if the monster was smarter or something, I don't know. But phase 3 monsters, extremely hard. I think that's the most unbalanced part of the game, but I think they did a good job. This is the alpha, so there's probably going to be a lot of stuff changing. I have a lot of hopes for this game because it is from the creators of Left 4 Dead, and I noticed a lot of similarities, like when you fall and you pick back up and your kind of health goes down as you're on the ground waiting. And then, like I said, with the Lazarus device, it's like a defib unit, and how you're 4 players, just like in Left 4 Dead, working as a team. It's a really fun game. I had a lot of fun playing it, and I can't wait for the beta or the game to come out. I just want to thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe. You can hit that button that's right there, or you can hit the top of the screen. Is it that way or that way? I'm not sure. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next video.